This vessel is impressive. The luxury element behind every aspect, the floor plan, as far as like the foredeck is, I think, organized perfectly. I loved it. The cockpit with the amount of open space, so you can, add whichever kind of loose furniture you choose. They have a head by the cockpit that's almost invisible. It's genius when you think about, okay, well, if you're out in the water, you're out in the sand, you don't want to bring sand into the salon, you don't want to bring sand into the interior. So you have this outside head where you can, take care of everything that you need to take care of. I thought that was fantastic. The swim platform adjustment, being able to go below the waterline or even up to extend the cockpit space is just, and I didn't even talk about the Flybridge right now. There's just so much to this vessel.
There's a lot to it. And I can add one more thing.
Welcome to another episode of the Southern Boating Podcast. I'm Ian Sneed.
I'm James Anderson.
And today we're going to be talking about the Prestige M8. It's an incredible power catamaran. Before we start, leave a comment. Let us know what's your favorite catamaran and how you think the M8 measures up to that catamaran. Because seriously, we have some fun. Like we should really get in. I loved everything that I read about this vessel.
This is an incredible vessel. So out of the power cats, let's talk about it just briefly. We've gone in the last several years from having just a couple of power cat companies that built extravagant power cats to now we have a couple dozen. And they are all obviously competing with each other to have that flagship, most luxurious catamaran, power catamaran. And it shows. And I like it because now the market for power catamarans is just unbelievable.
It's incredible.
I mean, you're getting some show stoppers is what I call them, because you have to stop, take a look. And most of them, I mean, you've seen me do it with a couple of others, but stop and go, wow.
Yes.
That's a really good looking boat.
So this article that we're going to be touching on, that we're going to be referencing, comes from our September issue. If you have access to the digital edition, you should have access to this now. And if you get the print magazine, it should be hitting your mailbox.
Should be hitting your mailbox today, tomorrow.
Yeah, pretty much as of recording this. So you should already have it. And if not, expect it in the next couple of days.
By the time you watch this, you've got it.
Yes, having said that, subscribe to the channel so that we can get feedback on what content you like and what content to produce more of. With that, let's jump into some of the features of the Prestige M8.
So the first thing that I'm going to note is this boat seems much larger than it actually is. And I think that's where they came up with the name, and it says so in the article, is the M8, because it functions more like an 80-foot monohull vessel. It actually has the same interior space as an 80-foot monohull.
That's right.
And we're talking about 3,000 square feet of living space. That's an awful lot of space. And what's really interesting is when we talk about that type of space, this is all created because it has a 29-foot beam. It's 65 feet in actual length. And then the way that it's laid out too. And I thought when I read through the articles, there are some interesting things, and we'll get into them. So let's start from all the way back at the swim platform. As a swim platform that you can submerge into the water, it's got special steps that lead to the swim platform when it's submerged.
Is it that, or is it functions as a step because you can submerge it, right? Because you can run it at water level or below to use it as a step onto the vessel.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Okay.
And then so you have that, but then this swim platform also, it'll hold your tender, right?
Over
up to 1,000 pounds.
Yeah.
But then also it raises up to the cockpit level to expand and extend the cockpit for entertaining purposes, which I absolutely loved.
I read that and I was like, that is a very creative way to use a swim platform.
Absolutely.
So creative.
I mean, let's face it, when you have a boat like this, you're going to entertain your friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? You're going to take them places. And
this catamaran you can use as a home away from home, or I don't know a better word to use, but it's essentially a location that you can host various events. If you love hosting events,
if you're an entertainer,
yes, this vessel is right up your alley.
Moving forward into the cockpit, I mean, again, another nice open space. And they left the space open without fixed furniture, which I actually appreciate that design, because now you can go out, get your own furniture, or if you get furniture that comes with it, is rearrange it to what you feel fits.
It allows you to stylize based off of your preferences, as opposed to having to work around something.
So the other outside space on the main deck was the foredeck. And the foredeck, to me, when you look at the pictures, I mean, to me instantly, I'm like put in a space of like, yeah, I could relax there all day very easily.
Oh yeah. Well, it has sunbed, right? But it also has this like sunken lounge. And then the sunken lounge has facing benches with modular tables.
With modular tables on each side. So you have one facing aft, one facing forward, right? So you're looking at each other. So it creates a nice conversation area.
Yeah.
Right? Up top there on the foredeck, you also have the sun pad too. So you have all of this massive space to relax, to engage with people, and just truly enjoy the day. And I thought that was excellent. And in fact, in the article, quite funny, they said if you took all of that away, it could be a helipad.
Yeah, because of how much space there is.
Because of how much space it is. You could have a small helicopter there.
Yeah.
And I don't think the boat is probably built for that.
Yeah, probably not.
But it's the relevance of how much space is there.
Next, let's move up to the Flybridge.
Yes, so the Flybridge, the last piece of outside space. And this is 20% of the square footage is what I noted.
Right.
540 square feet of fly deck. That's a lot of space. It also is, it's hardtop up there, which covers about 2/3 of the area. Also has an integrated sunroof in it, which I really liked. As white as I am and as quickly as I sunburn, I still worship the sun. Probably not good for me.
Now, the great thing about this is the helm at the Flybridge. It's centerline.
It's centerline.
It's centerline. And there's 2 bucket seats. From these seats, you can reach the throttles, the joysticks. You can see the 2, I think, 22-inch Garmin multifunctional displays. And that's all conveniently located centerline in the Flybridge. Like,
correct. Right in the center. There's a couple other catamarans that do the same thing. I kind of like it because it's a quick view to either side, right? If you need to jump up, it's not all the way up across the... You know, if you're on the starboard side, you don't have to run all the way over to port side.
And a vessel of this size, you're going to be out on the water. You're going to spend your time on the water.
Yeah,
when I look at it,
you're going to be anchored or mooring somewhere,
exactly,
and enjoying the day out on the boat. To me, it's ultimate relaxation.
Yes.
You know, now behind the helm station, it had its outdoor galley, which is really interesting. You have a stainless steel grill,
right,
a full bar,
yeah,
which is excellent. I mean, so you can literally hang out on this Flybridge all day long. And then what was also interesting to me that you don't see many times is it had 2 accesses to the Flybridge. One from the cockpit, so stairs up from the cockpit, and then also stairs up from the salon, which is really nice. So no matter what's going on, you can access it from both areas or yell down through the stairs at a nice, refreshing drink.
Or just use the full bar behind you.
Or use the full bar behind you. But I'm thinking, you know, if I already
I totally
ran that bar dry.
So next, we can move to the interior spaces, right?
So in the salon, yes. And what I really loved about this is because it's got such a huge beam on this boat, this salon feels extremely spacious. When you even look at the pictures, you can tell it's spacious. Its use of lights, the colors that they use, the mirrors, the
amount of
stainless steel,
space.
The amount of window space really, really, really creates the setting of a very much larger space than it actually is. Let alone it's already a large space at 500 square feet. But it really, really gives you the space. And in fact, when I was talking with somebody else earlier about this, you know, she looked at the pictures and she goes, wow. And it obviously distracted her from what I was trying to get her attention on.
Yeah.
So
it's a stunning vessel all around. Now, in the interior, you do have a control station, a helm center front, also front and center. And it also has multiple MFDs, throttle, joystick, everything that you need to control the boat confidently.
The only thing it interestingly doesn't have is a captain's chair down there. That's on purpose.
Yes.
You can add one if you wanted, but purposely they didn't put one down there.
That's right.
Because it's supposed to be like a bad weather helm station.
Exactly.
Right?
Well, and not just that, but they've taken the concept of having open space for you to design as you please to pretty much every element of the vessel. And that includes the entire interior, I would say.
Correct. So one of the interesting parts when you read this article is that the furniture here also is modular furniture. You can move it around, and there's a couple of different choices in furniture that come with it. All Italian design furniture, but a couple of different choices. So you can really kind of get customized with this.
Yeah, they have a selection of 4 different Italian brands, right? Is that
correct?
Yeah.
And then the other thing that I noticed is when you're ordering one of these, you can also move the galley downstairs.
If it's a crewed vessel, and you want more, you could get a guest cabin instead of a galley upstairs, and then you can move the galley downstairs.
Exactly right. So very interesting design aspects to it. But then also, let's talk about the master estate room. So different layout in the master estate room than what we're used to, but at 240 square feet, plenty of space.
Yep, it's full beam.
Full beam,
Yeah.
master, exactly. And the way I'm oriented, if the master estate room's doors are open and you're walking down the hall, you still can't see the bed, so it offers some level of privacy as well.
Right, and it's a king berth, if I remember right.
It is a king berth, yep.
Okay. Yeah, and then finally, what's moving this vessel? Because you have Volvo Penta joysticks, right? So you have two twin Volvo Penta
D8s.
The V drives.
Correct,
right?
That is the V drives.
That gives you, for this vessel, 20 knots top speed and 8 knots cruising.
That is correct. Now, at top speed, it drinks pretty well.
Yeah.
It'll run you through some fuel.
Yeah.
Right? But what was interesting is this becomes a long-range vessel when you slow down to its cruising speed of somewhere between 8 and 10 knots.
Yes.
You're going to get significantly more distance out of it. I would be interested to get the exact numbers on that, which we did not have at this point when we first toured this boat. But I'm sure they're available now since it's been out for a couple of weeks or months, really months. So we'll have to update that.
Yeah, we will.
Because it might be good enough to make our long-range cruisers list.
Yeah, really. This vessel is impressive. The luxury element behind every aspect when it came to the details, inside and outside, were definitely top notch. The floor plan, as far as like the foredeck, is, I think, organized perfectly. It's perfect with the sunbeds and then the sunken lower lounge. I loved it. The cockpit with the amount of open space, so you can, add whichever kind of loose furniture you choose. I thought that was great. They have a head by the cockpit that's almost invisible, but it's genius when you think about, okay, well, if you're out in the water, you're out in the sand, you don't want to bring sand into the salon, you don't want to bring sand into the interior, so you have this outside head where you can, take care of everything that you need to take care of. I thought that was fantastic. The swim platform adjustment, being able to go below the waterline or even up to extend the cockpit space, is just... And I didn't even talk about the Flybridge right now. There's just so much to this vessel.
There's a lot to it. And I can add one more thing. So as we've talked about it before, you've heard me mention it, is being able to relax also means enjoying a little bit of silence too, right? At least for me, in my personal perspective. This boat, you can also get with a lithium battery, solar power panels, that you don't have to run a generator full time without a mooring when you're calling for air conditioning or whatever it may be, when you're calling for that excess power, which is very important. I mean, number one, it's going to save you on fuel. Number two, it's going to let you relax a little bit more, and you don't have to hear that generator running, which some are pretty quiet these days, but still. I mean, to have utter silence completely and just listen to the water slapping the hull of the boat, that's true relaxation to me.
That's peace right there. That's
absolutely.
What that is.
Absolutely. That's what I need when I get away from work. Peace.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's basically it for the Prestige M8. I give it a thumbs up. I'm sure you do too.
I am fascinated by it. So yes, absolutely.
So if you want to look more into this, please pick up your September copy. Take a look at it. It starts on page 60. It's got several pages of review, beautiful pictures. Make sure to take a look at this. It'll make you very inquisitive and want to go online and look at the boat for more pictures.
Page 62.
Page 62?
Page 62.
So it starts on page 62.
Yeah.
But lots of pictures, lots of great text to read through. Very, very beautiful boat. Please check it out. But for now, I'm James Anderson.
I'm Ian Sneed.
Make sure to come back and check us out next week.
Boom. That's an episode, baby.
That's pretty quick.
Okay,
Are you sure you're ready?
Yeah, I'm always ready.
Are you sure?
No, but I am today.
That makes no sense. You realize
it
that?
makes total sense. It's just answering two different questions.
Here we go. Go again.
Man. All right. Ready to get started?
I'm ready, Freddie.
Okay.
All right.
Let's do it.